Hi, my name is Rachael. What brings you in today?
So I have this one coworker who I work with on a small team, and we have a couple of projects that we're working on together, and she's really not pulling her weight, and I feel like I'm doing 90% of the work for our projects that we're working on right now. It's really bothering me.
Okay, so you're on a small team. How many people would you say?
So it's just the two of us that have the same job. We're both kind of under the same title. And then we have like our one senior, he's called, who kind of like oversees us, but he also helps out a little bit.
Okay.
And then we have like our direct supervisor as well.
So you would say you're spending the majority of your time with this one girl?
I actually don't see her that much. I think that's also one of the things that's bothering me. She's not around a lot. And we kind of have different times that we work in the office, so we don't actually see each other a lot, but we're supposed to be like collaborating on like a couple projects.
So you're finding it hard to collaborate with her when you're not able to be face to face all the time?
Yeah. One of the hardest things is because I'll message her and then she just won't respond for 3 days. So it's, or like even up to a week she didn't message me back. So it's really hard to get work done because I just feel like I have to do all of it because I haven't heard from her, so I'm not sure if things are getting done.
Yeah. So you feel like when she doesn't answer you, that's when you realize she might not be pulling her weight, and you feel like she might be not working as hard as you are?
Yeah, exactly. Because I will ask her to do like one part, and I'll do everything else up until that part needs to get done. And then when she still hasn't gotten that part done, the critical part that we need her to do, it's really frustrating because like I've done everything else and I've asked her to do this one thing, and she just didn't do it, and then we can't proceed until she does it. So
are these time sensitive projects?
Yeah, we're running an event on campus next week, or 2 events next week. One the first day back from Thanksgiving, and then the next one the day after. So everything kind of had to get done this week because we're going away for Thanksgiving. So
yeah. And so back to the communication, do you think it would be easier to set up times when you can meet in the office at the same time? Would that be possible?
Yeah, I can probably go when, like, I can just drop in sometime when when she's supposed to be scheduled in the office, or maybe she can drop by when I'm scheduled in the office. We also were scheduled together to have a sit-down meeting with our supervisor, kind of to go over how things are going for the project, and she just didn't show up.
Okay.
So that's another thing, like that was going to be one of the days where we kind of like went over how things are going, where we're at. We were going to like check in to see if she's done the thing we asked her to do, and she just didn't come. So that's also another area of frustration.
That can be difficult. So the supervisor is realizing as well that she is slacking a little bit?
Yeah, he knows, and he was texting her during our meeting because it was just the two of us, and he was kind of like, where are you, what are you doing? So he knows as well, for sure.
And is she receiving any consequences for this? Because I'm assuming, a paid job?
Yeah, it is, and I don't really know, because my supervisor hasn't told me if she is, but I talked to my senior, and he said that maybe since I'm like obviously doing most of the work this semester, that maybe we can have her do like most of the work next semester, which I feel like would be like kind of fair, but at the same time she would have to do it next semester. So because there's things where I just do them because if I don't do them they won't get done. Do you know what I mean? So
and you mentioned next semester as well, so it's a long-term commitment, like you're going to be working together for a while.
Yeah, for the whole year.
So do you think you should start working out a better system now? So do you think that would make the rest of the year easier on you?
Probably, yeah. I definitely hope that she starts coming to our meetings, because that would be a lot easier, because then we can kind of like sit down, make a list of each of our jobs and things that we have to do, and maybe like sort out the jobs evenly or more evenly. But yeah, and then I guess if she doesn't start coming to the meetings, then I'll talk to my supervisor and see. But yeah.
did you know her beforehand or outside of work, or you've just recently met her?
I kind of like knew of her, but I had never really spoken to her or anything like that. She's kind of new to me.
Okay.
And she's a lovely person. And I think like she's also busy with other things, which makes me like kind of understand where she's coming from, because I'm pretty busy too. But at the same time, it's like we made a commitment to a job, and I shouldn't have to pick up the slack if just because she's busy.
So you understand her point of view, but since you feel that you're going through the same thing.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
So do you have any other solutions you've been thinking about, like anything you could work on?
Well, when I messaged her the other day, I said to her that maybe since I'm doing most of the stuff, like the work for the event that's coming up next week, that maybe she could work on the bulletin board for next month, even though it was supposed to be me that's doing it, which she was pretty like good about, and she said that she would do it. So I think that'll probably help take some things off my plate, so that I can just focus on doing the one. So I think moving forward, if we're just like clear of like her tasks, and hopefully she's like nice about doing them, then hopefully that will help.
And the bulletin board, is that a weekly thing?
Monthly.
Monthly, okay.
Yeah.
So you trade off.
So I did September, and then she did October, so November was supposed to be mine. But since she hasn't been doing her job, so I asked her to do November, and then I'll just pick up December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that she might have other stuff going on not related to school, or?
Yeah, I think she's on Biomed Association, something like that, which I think takes up a lot of her time. And again, like I understand where she's coming from, because I have other commitments as well. And I think that like we all do, just being students, we all have other things going on. But yeah, I don't think that she should be able to use that as an excuse.
Because you.
Yeah, and we also have like scheduled time in the office each week. We have 6 hours each week where she could be getting things done. And I think the tasks that we're giving her are like reasonable, that they could get done during her office shifts. So yeah, it's just frustrating when she doesn't do it.
You feel like it's unfair to you because you're both getting paid for the same job, and you feel like you're doing most of the work.
Yeah, it's really frustrating for sure.
And then does your boss has he spoken to you about this as well, or?
He just asked me during our meeting if like to let him know if I had heard back from her, because I had said like I messaged her a week ago and she never got back to me. But he also had messaged her and said like I'll let you know if I hear from her, and he had heard from her that night. So I think he gave her like a deadline of Thursday this week to look over the exam that we need for the session next week. So I think that she's probably done that now, which is good, because now we can proceed, move on with printing the exams and getting them out. But yeah, my boss has been like pretty supportive of me for sure, because I think he can tell that I'm doing most of the work. But
so it makes you feel a bit better having someone else on your side, and they're seeing what's going on as well.
Yeah, it's nice to have like some support, but at the same time, like even though he's saying like, oh, I can see that like you're doing a lot of work, he can't, like he doesn't really like help me with it. So it's kind of just like just talk. And I still feel like I'm doing a lot of work that I shouldn't have to do.
Do you feel like you can go to him still if you have questions and for support?
Yeah, I think so. He's pretty approachable. The other thing is that he's brand new to this job this year, and I don't think that he got a lot of training, because our previous manager kind of just like left last minute. So he's still kind of learning as well, and he works in the library as his other job. So he's kind of given us more tasks because he works in the library and he has connections that way. So he's added things to our job, which also doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I feel busy.